Great. So I'm really excited to introduce our first presenter for today. He's an experienced early stage business builder with a core skill set in B2B sales. He's taken enterprise software companies to their first million. He's raised early stage investment money. He's got government grants for companies in the past. In short, he knows a lot of about B2B revenue strategies, and that's what he's here to talk about. So it gives me great pleasure to hand over to Pete Solway from Founder Sales Solution.
Thanks, Kavita. It's great to be here with everyone. I've only got eight or so minutes, so I'm just going to dive in and be real punchy. If you've got questions, you want to follow up, all of those sorts of things, happy to have a chat with everyone afterwards. So when it comes to generating revenue as a founder, when you're selling B2B, there's lots of different things that you can do, but I've distilled it down into 4 key areas or pillars of opportunity, I call it, right? That you can take really quick actions and start increasing your revenue really rapidly, right? So that's when it comes to the way that you're generating leads, your sales process, like how you actually take a lead through demonstration or sharing what you do or that type of thing all the way through to close. And then there's the conversion optimization. What things are you doing through that sales process that allow you to increase and win more deals at higher rates? And last but not least is supporting others in your team to sell for you. If you're a service-based business, whether that's getting some of your delivery team to start asking for referrals or getting involved in sales, or actually hiring a first dedicated sales hire. I've been a first sales hire, and that process, not every salesperson's cut out for. It's a very different type of role than it is being the 10th, the 10th or the 15th or the 100th salesperson in an organization. So let's dive into a few specific things we can do in each of those areas. So when it comes to finding leads, what you want to be really clear on is your ideal customer profile. Now, I know a lot of you would have heard about ideal customer profile from a marketing lens. So this is like the persona and what they like to eat and how old they are and all of those things, right? When we're talking about B2B selling to other businesses, what's actually really important is looking at the org size you're selling into, the role title of the people that you're selling into, the problems that you're solving for the business, not just the individual. What events mean that they need to go and spend money now, as opposed to waiting off and kicking the decision to work with you, later down the track. So they're the sorts of things you want to be across, because if you go out there just trying to find leads without clarity on these things, you're going to be running around in circles. Of course, then you want to have the list of who those people are and their contact information, because if you don't, how are you going to reach out to them, right? Referrals are fantastic, but if you do want to do some cold stuff, you really want to have those details and some strategies in place. There's then the idea of, like, you can do all of these things to try and find leads, but I find it really helpful for founders to just block things into quarters, right? Like, what are our 1, 2, 3 strategies we're testing this quarter to figure out our lead generation strategy, right? There's no one size fits all. When it comes to lead generation, it really is customized to your business, your offering, your target market. And so when you're a founder, you want to be experimenting every quarter on something different and going deep to try and discover another way to bring leads and fill up your pipeline. Then we have the sales process. You do need a CRM. I see so many founders with a spreadsheet, and that's all well and good if you've got 5 to 10 customers. But once you go beyond that, it's really important to track and measure and stay on top of all of your activities, because doing that really does move the dial and keep things moving through quickly. In the sales process, so often people are trying to create their sales process, right? And I get that. I've come from the world of sales, but what I encourage founders to do is flip the mindset, right? Instead of worrying about our sales process, think about the buyer's journey. How does the person you're selling to like to buy? How do they go about decision making? If you can switch that mindset, instead of being a salesperson that's trying to get them from here to here to here, you're listening to them and they're feeling heard, and you're adding value to the process rather than pushing them through something that, creates a bit of tension. Another rule I like to put into a sales process is always book the next meeting. So often you have a great meeting, people are excited, they're going to go away and do something. Why not book the next meeting? No one wants to go back and forward and try and rebook calendars and all of that sort of thing. Like, book that next meeting, don't get ghosted, do it up front. Ask about their decision-making process, right? Like I said about the buyer's journey. What do the steps look like from where we're at to you signing off or making a decision to go forward or not, right? Getting clarity on that really helps us understand realistically where we're at in terms of winning or not winning, or how long this sales process is going to take. We then have conversion optimization, right? Weekly sales meetings. If you're a solo founder, like do it with your partner, your cousin, your whoever, like just have a check-in about your sales opportunities on a regular basis and think about it, right? One of the most effective things I did was write all of my sales opportunities on a whiteboard and stick it at my desk, right? Even if I didn't have an action to take, I was staring at my potential opportunities every day, and I'd have ideas. I could send them this, I could connect them with them, I could add value in some sort of way, right? And that strategization or thinking about the opportunity on a regular basis really takes your ability to the next level. The next thing that I want to cover, and this is a really big and valuable thing that can change the way that you do sales, is having a sales methodology, not a sales process. A sales process is you have your first meeting, you do a demonstration, they call your references, they close the deal. That's the process, the steps. A sales methodology is a structure for looking at how likely this deal is to close and what next steps we need to take in order to move the sale ahead, right? The simplest one that I can share with you is called BANT, where you're basically asking their budget, the authority, who makes the decision here, the need, like what problem do they have, and timing, right? Like if you're going to go ahead and do something like this, would you do it now or later or next year? And if you have a structure for those sales conversations and moving things ahead, it increases your conversion rates very significantly. And there's much more detailed, in-depth ones that I can chat to you about offline if that's something of interest. Sales coaching. In the sales world, and I'm not sure how many of you know this, right? But there's kind of a different skill set you get for every $20,000 extra you pay a salesperson, right? So from 80 to 100, 120, 140, 160, you get a different set of skills, right? And when you as a founder or as salespeople, you're coaching people through that, you're getting higher ROI out of their sales time. You do that by improving their skills as well as getting them in the right headspace. Being in the right headspace as a founder or as a salesperson really makes a massive difference to the revenue that you can bring in. And last but not least is getting your team to sell for you, right? So often founders are like, hey, you get 5% or 10% or whatever percent of any sales that you make, right? But there's no goal. Put a target in place. Great. For you to be successful, you need to make $500,000 in revenue. You need to make 100 grand in revenue. You need to make $1 million in revenue. Give anyone that's selling some context as to what success looks like, and give them extra bonuses if they're able to hit and or exceed that. And that structure gives them context as to whether or not they walk away from an opportunity that might be too small, whether they invest a lot in a certain deal or a little, and really helps round out that sales process. Personalized sales coaching, whether that's you as the founder or someone external, getting in there and giving them that support. Often if people haven't had a sales background, just having someone to talk this stuff through really can open up their mind to different ways to approach things and get some fantastic results. And last but not least is integrating a sales and marketing feedback loop into the way that you approach sales, lead generation, and marketing. So what I mean by that is every time you're closing a deal, reflect on why, and then start to create a little bit of a bank as to what things led to that person buying, why they were a good fit, why they spent the money. And you can put that back into your ideal customer profile, which then allows you to go back out and do more cold outreach from sales or pass that on to marketing, and constantly iterate and refine that and have that documented so anybody selling in your team can really go in and support you from there. Okay, I talked really fast at you guys. I'm not sure how I went for time there, but that's the core meat of what I wanted to cover today. If anybody's interested in doing a free B2B sales self-assessment, there's a little QR code there. Jump on there. It's a free 5-minute assessment. I'll give you some really good clarity on things you can do to move the dial right now. And if you're interested in a deeper dive call with me, you can see there's another QR link on the right-hand side of things there. So there we go.
Fantastic. Right on time as well.
Oh, very good.
Thank you. I really love the very practical tips. I think my favorite one, which I took away, was booking the next meeting before you end a great one. I think that's a very simple one that everyone can implement straight away. But also, I have a question. At what company size would you say founders should start looking at these strategies, or does it apply to everyone?
I mean, look, the better you are at sales, it's going to help you at every level of business, right? I'd say that the thing that you want to do as a founder before, say, spending money on sales coaching or going to the next level, unless you're really stuck, is get enough product market fit. So what I mean by that is, like, if you're going out there with something new, something different, figure out that you've kind of got a good 5, 10, 20 clients, maybe a few hundred grand, maybe $500,000 in revenue, like a decent foundation. Because once you've figured out that fit, right, then you can get the experts to help you put the fuel on the fire to really grow to the next level. But if you're lacking product market fit and you're doing all the right sales strategies, it can still not, like, it'll be, you know, micro effective rather than macro effective.
Awesome. Thank you.